Alright, so the next two examples are going to be, again, finding producer surplus, consumer surplus with more complex functions. So this is a lot like how the MyLab asked the questions. Alright, so given the demand and the supply, find the equilibrium point, show the graph. B, find the consumer surplus at the equilibrium point. C, find the producer surplus on the equilibrium point. And again, on the test and the quiz, I want to see the picture. I want to see the formula with the integral symbols for consumer surplus, producer surplus, and then the rest of it you can find all on the graphing calculator. You can find the equilibrium point on the graphing calculator. You can find the area under the curve on the graphing calculator. I just want to see the setup. Alright, so the first example, so I'm going to go ahead and plug it in, because I'm going to graph first. I'm going to go ahead and plug this in, so I'm going to go in here and clear out my previous example and plug in my two expressions. Alright, so the demand curve was x minus 4 squared, so parentheses, x minus 4 parentheses squared. Enter. My second one was x squared plus 2x plus 6, so x squared plus 2x plus 6. Let me double check and make sure I put those in right. X squared plus 2x plus 6, x squared minus 4 squared. Alright, those are small functions. I actually think when I go set up my window, I got to make it smaller than before. I'm going to leave negative 2 and 10. I'm going to change my bottom one to negative 2 and 10 as well. 10. At 10. And hey, if you hit standard window, it should be fine too. But I only want to see the first quadrant, so I'm going to leave negative 2's. And hit graph and see if that gives me a good enough looking picture. There's my first function. There's my second. Oh no, it doesn't, so I have to go up a little higher. Oh, 4 squared would give me 16, so I need to go up to 16. Alright, so window. Let me go up, so I still have to go higher. I'm going to go up to 20. I'm going to double my y. If I can get to there. Okay, I'll hit my button 1 too many times. Alright, so I'm going to go up to 20 and see if that gives me a good enough window. Alright, graph. First function. Second function. And really, it's just this little part here. So I've got a lot of extra graph I don't need. It's just this little region here that I want to graph. Alright, I want to find the equilibrium point. And so I'm going to leave it. But when I go to graph it on my other page, I am probably going to just write this little piece right here when I go to draw. I'm trying to spit out the right words. Alright, first find the equilibrium point. Alright, so second, trace, intersect. 5. First curve, second curve, and guess. So again, I got to move all the way over. Computer's being slow today. Close enough. Enter, enter, enter. So it looks like it's at the point 1, 9. So one item for $9. Alright, so now I'm going to go graph that. So again, I'm only going to graph that little part. So remember, this is X items. This is the price in dollars. When I plug 0 into my supply, it's at 6. When I plug 0 into my demand, it's at 16. And the reason I know it's at 16, right? If I 0 here, negative 4 squared gives me 16. Alright, so make sure I kind of get my picture looking right. So this one's going to come up, and that one's going to come down fairly fast. So remember, demand, supply. Equilibrium point, 9 items, or sorry, 1 item at a price of $9. Alright, this was 1, 9, equilibrium point. Producer surplus, consumer surplus. Alright, so there's the picture. Alright, so find the equilibrium point, show the graph, and so the equilibrium point would be 1, 9, so it'd be 1 item at $9. Alright, part A is done. There's part A. part B, consumer surplus at the equilibrium point, and then C is the producers. All right, so B, consumer's surplus. So remember, consumer surplus is the area above the rectangle, the revenue generated. And so I find the area under the demand curve first, from the 0 to 1, the equilibrium point, and then I subtract away the revenue. All right, so I'm going to integrate from 0 to 1 my demand function, and then subtract away the revenue generated, which would be 9, right? 1 times 9, which would be 9. All right, so I'm going to find this on my graphing calculator. So I'm going to go back to my graphing calculator. I want to find the area under the demand curve, so I'm going to hit second, trace, 7. And I want to make sure I'm on my demand curve, and I am. My demand curve was the x minus 4 squared, so you'll see that's the one that I am above. So I'm ready to go ahead and put in 0 and 1. Alright, and so there's the area under the demand curve, which again I just rounded the penny, so 12.33. Alright, so this is 12.33. That's the amount they would have spent, when willing to spend. They did spend $9, so you take the $12.33 minus the $9, and it'll leave you with $3.33 extra in their pocket. They would have been willing to spend $12.33 for the item. They only spent $9, so the extra was $3.33. Alright, so there's the consumer surplus. And now the last part, the producer surplus. Alright, so the producer surplus, remember, is the area above the above the supply curve, under the revenue. And so the revenue is the big area, right? The producers get $9 for the one item sold. So 9 is the revenue generated, and then we integrate under the supply curve, right? We find this area here, and we subtract it, and that'll give us our producer surplus. So from 0 to 1 of our supply, which was our x squared plus 2x plus 6, so 9 minus, and that should be less than 9. So again, I'm going to go back to my graphing calculator. I might regraph this. I'm going to change. I just changed my window a little bit, and it'll regraph it so I won't have that blue area shaded in. Right, so there's my demand. Here's my supply. Equilibrium was at 1.9. This time I have to be careful though. I hit second, trace. I pick 7. But I have to make sure I'm on the right curve. And right now I'm not. I'm on the first curve, which was my demand. I want to be on my second curve, which is my supply. And so you have to hit the down arrow, or the up arrow would also work. And now it puts me up in here. Now I can't see my cursor because it's off my page. But you'll see at the top, it represents x squared plus 2x plus 6, right? That's where I am. I'm on this curve. And so now I'm ready to go. I hit my lower value 0, my upper value 1, and then it should shade in under the demand, under the supply curve. It should shade under the supply curve, the red function. Right, and it does. It shades under that. It's 7.333, so $7.33 is the amount they would have been willing to settle for. They got $9. So they would have been willing to sell their item for $7.33. They actually sold the item for $9. And so the surplus was $1.67. That's the extra they got for their item. Alright, so there's the producer surplus, consumer surplus. Alright, I'm going to do one more example, and then we'll be done with all of Unit 3.